riding through the Negev on the border with Egypt and the Sinai, Mount Karkum, the place that was considered by many to be the original site for Mount Sinai. I went there to check out the Proto Canaanite inscriptions which are on the mountainside and the cultic surroundings that had existed there for, they say, up to 100,000 years ago. And in fact, the whole entire region was settled with ancient cities or small communities, large groups for 100,000 years. So it seems that there was a great translation of imaginations occurring here in the Sinai, in a place so barren today, and even they say even 100,000 years ago was also barren, but there were existing populations, and this is where the first alphabetical language was employed. The question is, why in such a barren place? And you see that there is actually ancient trade routes and routes for the trade and the distribution of minerals. And the minerals were being moved from the Dead Sea, the tar, and which was taken to Egypt for the embalming of the elites and for the making of boats and for insulation. So these trade routes were coming through the desert, and master craftsmen, people who knew how to handle these materials, also required to be able to communicate with each other. And in that way, they developed a method of transferring their imaginations into a script. And in that script, they started coordinating and choreographing the script into words and into meanings. And the first whispers of language and of written form. And we call that today the alphabet. And these words were considered to be almost magical, creative in its force, and we even have the words abracadabra, which come from the A, B, C, D, the creative and the magical force of language. And so the very alphabet which was found here for one of the first times, it goes the alpha. The alpha is actually the bull, and the bull represents domestication. That from the sperm of a bull can be thousands and tens of thousands. You can multiply, and the very picture of domestication comes from the picture of the bull. And if you see, that is the old letter shape for Aleph. And if you invert it, you have like that, that's the English for A. So the inversion is actually that we maintain the same pictograms in many ways, but they've just been stylized for our convenience, for our interface convenience. And so we go on, after A, we go on to B. B is the bet, is the house, the bite. So we have the domestication, and now we have the house. The house mainly refers not to the top part of the house, but to the bottom part of the house, the basement. And that was made from stone. So the bet was really the foundations. And you see that words which have an A in it, or the Aleph in it, resonate with domestication, and letters that have B, bet in it, resonate with foundation.